Hello, beautiful. My name is David Stanko.
And I'm Chelsea Smith.
And we're coming to you from the Madison Reed headquarters here in the Mission District in San Francisco, California.
And we're here to talk to you today about
our most favorite subject in the world,
hair color. So David and I searched the internet high and low, far and wide, to search for your top questions about hair color correction.
That's right. Remember, you asked us about this, so are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so we wanted to make this even more fun and play a rousing game of Never Have I Ever. So Chelsea and I will be playing this to get through some of these color corrections. So what do you got?
All right, let's go to our first question. So, never have I ever stripped somebody's hair?
Oh, good one. And I have.
I have never. Oh,
I
okay.
have.
Well, tell us a little bit about that then.
Okay. So stripping the hair sounds really aggressive, and in actual fact it can be. So there's a lot of different levels in which we can cleanse the hair or get rid of an overdeposit. Ultimately, if a woman wants to strip her hair, it's because something went wrong with the color. It's too dark, it's a weird tone, or just a big dramatic change. So let's break this down to a few different scenarios. The first, if let's say you have a highlight client and you used a toner and now the highlights are all gone, you could probably achieve what you need by using a good clarifying shampoo.
Yep.
Sometimes on fresh color, when it's just done that day, when you use a clarifying shampoo once or twice, it can lift away some of the deposit. Now next, and this is just fun to say, is we can do a French fluff.
Ooh, fun.
And a French fluff is using a decolorizer with a shampoo and a low volume developer and mixing that up and applying that through the hair from scalp to ends, and that will lift about half level or one level. And that takes it up a notch when it comes to decolorizing the hair.
Okay.
The third is if a woman is overall too much of a brunette and wants to lighten up, you can go in and do a full head of highlights or a full set of balayage, and that's usually cared for best in the salon. So in that example, you're highlighting or using balayage to increase the lighter population so that the depth looks diminished a little bit.
Got it.
And then lastly, the big job is what people, when they say stripping the hair, means. And that's a woman who might be dyed black or super dark and wants to get lighter. And this requires repeated applications of using a lightener. Before you ever get involved in that, you have to do a strand test. And that's mixing your lightener, isolating a little piece, and getting a sense of, can you achieve the results and how long will it take to achieve those results? But make sure that you have conditioning treatments done all along that journey, because it can take, and this is really important, this kind of work can take hours and hours. So you have to use a gentle hand and be very, very careful about that.
Now, David, those are
Yes.
great options. Sound amazing. So many options to do this. But what about Prime for Perfection?
Ooh, that's a good one. Tell us about that.
Okay, so Prime for Perfection is a Madison Reed product that is a ammonia-free color reducing gel. Basically what it does is it slowly dissolves the color molecules in the hair that creates gentle lift and lightness and brightness throughout the hair strand. It's a really amazing product. It's super gentle. It has a really low pH, which means it kind of seals off the hair and creates shine and creates a better canvas for you to color from moving forward.
Now, I've seen you use this a couple of times.
Yes.
And you've able to transition a woman from a really deep brunette to like an auburn chocolate into a lighter brown. So
Absolutely.
what happens after you've done your Prime for Perfection?
So after you use Prime for Perfection, you basically just want to have your next color step on hand. The Prime for Perfection is the perfect canvas. It creates that perfect canvas over the hair to make a better and easier color application for next time.
Beautiful. Prime for Perfection.
Love it.
I'll take one. What do we got next?
All right, let's see. Next we have, never have I ever had to deal with hair color that is too warm or too red.
Ooh,
Ooh.
totally.
All the time.
I have.
All the time. Yeah, this is a good one. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, what do you got?
So basically when you color at home, I think this is one of our top questions that actually happens. Let's say you kind of want to experiment, you want to go a little richer, you pick something that's a little bit outside of what you're used to using, and it can result in too warm of hair, it's too red, and it's just too bright, and it's not something you're used to. So what do we do to solve for that, David?
I think it's important that we separate what too warm means, right?
Yes,
because for some women, too warm might be a little too golden or copper, and then for others, it might be red is really what's bothering her. So if a woman is too golden or a little bit too auburn, We can figure out at what level that's taking place. Generally, that happens at around a level 7, 8, or 9. And we can use a color at a 7, 8, or 9 that has a little bit of brown in it. And we can apply that from the scalp through the mids and the ends. And globally, that will soften the too much warmth that's coming up. And I think she'll be very happy.
That's awesome. That's great.
Ooh, here's another one. On the flip side of the red conversation, never have I ever seen green hair.
Oh, yep, see it.
Totally.
Yep, especially in summertime, right?
That's right. Little kids that are blonde and they swim a lot. And here's what happens is that the copper compounds that's in the swimming pool binds with the chlorine and attaches to the hair, and that gives that greenish kind of effect. So there's a couple ways that you can combat that. Number one, before you jump in the swimming pool, get your hair wet from clean tap water.
Right.
That way the hair absorbs clean water and it's less likely to hold on to those copper compounds or chlorine. Next, if it's a sort of a situation where you're a frequent swimmer, use a clarifying shampoo. As soon as you get out of the shower, rinse your hair, do a clarifying shampoo or two, condition your hair, and you'll get rid of anything that's for sure hanging out there at the moment. And we use our color reviving gloss. Now, if the hair is green or sort of a light green, like a shamrock kind of color, we want to use a color that's opposite of that, which is, in our world, color reviving gloss amaretto. That's sort of a soft, whiskey amaretto toned. It has some papaya to it, a little bit of warmth to it, and those colors are opposite, so they'll help to neutralize each other. So there's some ideas to get rid of that swimmer's green.
That's great. Awesome. Perfect. All right, let's see. What is our next question? Ooh, this is a good one, you guys.
This is a good one.
Another good one. Never have I ever had to deal with hot roots. All the time.
Never.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding.
Never.
I'm kidding. No,
like, what?
Yeah, totally. I was kidding.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I have to. So Chelsea, maybe you can tell us about what are hot roots.
Absolutely. Hot roots happen to nice people, David.
They do.
They do. They happen all of the time. Basically what hot roots are is you've picked a shade. It's a little bit different than what you're used to, mostly warmer and probably lighter than what you've been using.
Sure.
You put it on, rinse your hair, get it dry, and all of a sudden these glaring roots, they're brighter, redder, warmer, and the rest of your hair is bright, basically the same, maybe a little bit, but not as bright here. So this is usually a formulation error. It all happens when you're picking the shade. Generally what we recommend that you would do is pick something that's closer to the same level of what you've been using and more neutral or ash. This will help to soften those tones and to balance out the rest of the hair. So it'll tone down your roots here and help balance everything else as well.
So I'm thinking of a couple things. One is when coloring your hair, it's usually the most safe is if you stay within 1 or 2 levels of your natural. So if you figure out that you're a level 5, then staying with a 5, maybe a 6 is the best situation. If you decide to venture away and pick a 7, a copper gold, or an 8, then you're pretty much guaranteed to have hot roots.
Right.
So if that happens and you picked a 7 and you look down and look at the box and it says 7 natural copper gold or something, then a good fix is to pick a 7 that has a little bit more brown in it. In Madison Reed world, that would be a 7 NGV, for example. And we would mix that and apply it to the scalp and then gradually introduce it to the rest of the hair. And that way, that level 7 on that level hot root should balance each other out, brown out, and kind of naturalize you a little bit.
Yep, exactly. It's awesome.
So we've taken you through green hair, we've taken you through hot roots, if the hair's too warm, talked about stripping the hair. These are all the questions that everyone sort of wrote in and searched on us. So well done, my friend.
Oh, thank you, David.
Well
You too.
done. So we at Madison Reed want you to love your hair. We want you to know that we love you. And we think that the more informed you are about hair color, the better off we are.
Absolutely. And you know, sometimes, you know, corrections involve a salon visit. But for minor corrections, Madison Reed here is here to help. So
thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you share our videos. We have all sorts of wonderful educational content for you. So leave a little comment below. Thanks for watching and happy coloring.
bye.